friends, I will now try to demonstrate how scrolls can look slightly different with different ways of cutting them. Now this top one is what I would call an elongated, streamlined scroll. It has more, you can get more curves. Now this one here will be tighter. I'll give you just a quick demonstration. You can see now that we have this oblong. It's one of my other demonstrations of how to form a scroll. I'll reiterate over that again sometime. And this one is a square. You see, this one is more on the square. This is the one we would use for filling in and, you know, repeat. This one is quite good for long type of metal or whatever you like to put on it. So I'll start by giving you a demonstration, see. And so it's a longer cut here, for an instance. This is just a small part here. Okay, we would do this, and then you would have another long one here, and then you cut there, and then you'd have this here. You see, it's a long stroke, and then you will fill that in here. Of course, this would cut away. And now we would have this here, which would be a long one again, you see. And so you could start here, and you would come around to make your scroll. Then you cut this away. Sometimes people leave a little flag on the end, and I don't really care for that. So now we will have this here. You see, this is your cutting away. You can do this with one stroke if it's a smaller type of scroll. If it's larger, you will have to cut this away by hand. And of course, even the original small scrolls that I've seen in the past were smaller versions of the larger type. You see, they would cut this away here, and they would put a little movement in here, and they would cut very fine. So now you can see this here is getting more of that shape here, you see, coming around here. This is a demonstration you need. This is for large scroll or for small scroll. You see, it's getting longer. It's leaving a nice cut here, and it's giving you more flexibility on this, you see. So this is the movement that you will get by creating a long, narrow scroll. You see? So it doesn't rise like this one here. You see, this has got the roadway going around here, going around. This one is wider here, and it gets narrower just here. And so you haven't got so much of a maze, so we say, we're going around here. So this is how this one will look eventually. Here, this is a quick demonstration, as I mentioned. But I hope it gives some of our learners, and even some of our experts, because I often see so-called experts making, you know, it's like handwriting. You can't always copy another person's handwriting. You will get the knack. I've seen some good representations. So that's this one. You see how long that goes. Now with this one, this is what I would call something like, I could do it like a nautilus shell, you see. Here, you can go this. I'm just doing this as a quick ladder around here. But you see, it hasn't got such a longer cut. It's not so streamlined. So we're going around more regularly in this motion, you see. So we're doing this here. We're going here. We're not connecting to this line, you should notice here. So this is here. So it's all my little C cuts here. This is just this demonstration. So now what you do, of course, you cut this up here, and you would bring this around here, so not leaving a gap there. Okay. You can do lots of little variations, and this is just my style. You can put another, like a lot of people do, very quickly in here, and if you leave it like that, it becomes boring. So you put the cuts in here, and you deepen your cut here, you see, like so, and then you can vary these little inside leaves. You must, well, I wouldn't say must, of course, it's no, but the idea of a scroll was a growing plant, and these were representations of leaves on the plant which grows, you see. So that's like the scroll that was classified as English scroll, which we did on guns, and before that it was done on jewellery or lockets or snuff boxes, watches, and various things. If you look at the inside of a watch sometimes, some of the old-fashioned pocket watches, they had what they called the cock inside there, and it had been pierced, and a beautiful craftsmanship. But they were represented these type of scrolls, you see, inside. And I think that's what happened with the gun engravers. They came from the jewellery quarter, and they put their style of work on these little bits of the gun. Now you can see the difference in there. And this is what I would say was the square, and that is the oblong, you see. And I mentioned that before. So with this one, you would take your other one off this area here like this, you see. I'm coming fast, I'm not turning the paper. And it will go like that, see, so it's not going too far like this, you see. So I'll measure there, and I could come back here because I know that's what's going to happen there. And I will do this, you see. So now I have this, and I have this area here. I could form another scroll in there. So it gives me this here. This one, again, would be working on like the square here. So we say it's a square like that, and then you either take it like that, and then you could work it like this. This with a pen, so it's going to keep the indelible mark, but we're not to worry about that. And so that's how it will go. So that will give you the idea. You clip this off here, you clip this off here, then you turn. Of course, when you're engraving, you can see it from different angles. With a static piece of paper like this, I can't see it from the other angle. And of course, when you do see it from another way, you might get it irregular. These were cut as a commercial type of scroll, you see. We used to do it quite fast, and sometimes we didn't even mark it out because you're so used to doing it. So you put your graver on, and it was like drawing, so you did the things fast. So you can look at some of the old guns, and they're a bit erratic, but they were done to a price, and the gun maker was waiting for it. And the majority of the engraving was just to cover and form the pattern of the gun makers. So that's there. You could see a Purdy and a Boss and Holland and all those just by their sort of trademark engraving. You see, so I'm working it this way, so it's getting like that, and I'm cutting here. With your graver, you work different to the pen sometimes. See, so I'm cutting here, And a lot of the engravers in there weren't artists, they were artisans. They were taught as young boys. They were workmen. They did it everyday type of work. Just get in and you do the various patterns and bits of that, and that was your work. Today we try to be a bit more artistic, and you can see how it develops itself. And it's quite pleasant, really, you know, pass your time away, just get into the rut. Only, of course, you had to turn them out in so many hours and at a certain price, and you could click, click, click away. The faster you went into this technique, the more money you earned or bonus you got. So there you are. That's giving you some idea, I hope. Of course, this is, you refine this, of course. But I do see a lot of engraving just left fairly coarse. I think the problem is that we haven't seen enough of the original type of work. And sometimes you will see inferior work. You won't discriminate from it because you haven't seen other quality work. When you do see the quality work, it's inspiring, you know. So now you will sometimes put a shading in here, which we would call a shading, but instead of it being blank like so, you put a little mark in. We used to just put this in here, and it will show various things. In the old period, you would have put more shading in there. The larger the scroll becomes, the more you're able to put in. You don't soak it with shadow too much of this thing because but that's what you do, of course. And when you've got a gap like this, you think, how do you fill it? I've seen people put just things like that. No, it's a little scroll again. You know, you will put a little one in here, just like that. So it represents this, you see. So all you do is you do that here, and then you put another little cut in there and clean this up here, there, and see you have this. And that's what you do with these areas here. You can fill them in different ways when you do it in a large scroll here, you see, like that. You can do this type of thing. And then when we do this, and it's not, it's like so, I will see a lot of people, they don't really know how to do this outside work. Now this here is like, as I mentioned, this is a plant, and it represents what is inside, because the leaves growing out like a fern, you look at it and it's the same as what is inside. It's not a bit of spaghetti just pushed on outside and made a wiggle, wiggle, wiggle like I've seen so many times. You try, but of course now, if you do all that, it doesn't always look as pretty. It looks more stumpy. So we would put some little shade like this. Now, when you shade this, it really pushes the shadow that you will gradually put on the outside, shall we say, like so. When you put this on the outside and you shade this in, it pushes the scroll out. You can see the scroll then before it's just blank like that. See, so the idea is to get something pretty, and you get it nice and regular like so, and you fill it in. So you're flowing with this here. It's not going up like little posts in the air, you see. So now you've got a gap here, you've got this here. So I keep these fairly regular in its way. And some people just put one there, and it goes another way, and they go against the grain. See, it all grows this way. So this one here has got to grow that way, you see. See, it grows that way, and it goes like that here. And of course this one was going this way, so you put this little chap on top.